Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack some of the most surprising secrets buried in corporate filings. Today we have Minerals Technologies Incorporated, and let me tell you their latest report has some interesting tidbits about their performance. But before we dive in, if you love getting these no-fluff corporate breakdowns, make sure you are subscribed. Also, we have a growing Discord community linked in the description below where we chat all things finance and corporate insights. So join us there. So on the 23rd of October 2025, Minerals Technologies Incorporated, or MTX as they are known on the New York Stock Exchange, released their current report. This is basically a snapshot of what is going on within the company, and in this case it focuses on their results for the third quarter of 2025. This filing is a Form 8K, which is super important because it signals that something significant has happened. They are reporting on their financial performance and they've attached a press release with all the juicy details. Now they are legally saying that this information isn't considered officially filed with the SEC for certain purposes, so don't try to sue them based on this specific press release alone, but it still tells us a lot, right? Let's talk about the company itself, Minerals Technologies Incorporated. They are incorporated in Delaware and their IRS employer identification number is 251190717. Their main offices are located in New York City and their stock ticker symbol MTX trades on the New York Stock Exchange. They have common stock with a par value of 10 cents per S-share. The core of this report is really about their results and their financial situation. On the 23rd of October 2025, Minerals Technologies Inc. issued a press release about their financial performance for the third quarter of 2025. This press release is Exhibit 99.1, and it is what we're going to focus on because it contains the numbers that really matter to investors and anyone trying to understand how the business is doing. Now, they've attached this press release, and while most of the SEC filing is procedural or informational, it's the press release that holds the key operational insights. Think of the SEC form as the envelope and the press release is the letter inside packed with financial updates. They are essentially announcing their financial performance results for the third quarter of 2025. Looking at the information provided in their earnings release, which is part of this filing, we can see some key indicators of how Minerals Technologies Inc. has been performing. For instance, revenue is a fundamental metric for any company. If revenue is growing, it generally means more customers are buying their products or services. Conversely, a decline in revenue can signal market challenges or competitive pressures. Similarly, net income or profit tells us how much money the company is actually making after all its expenses. A rising net income is a sign of a healthy and efficient operation. We also look at earnings. Per S-share or EPs, which is the portion of a company's profit allocated to each outstanding share of common stock. A higher EPS suggests greater profitability on a per-share basis, which is attractive to investors. In this period, Minerals Technologies Inc. would have reported these numbers and we would be looking for trends. Are the revenues up compared to the same time last year or the previous quarter? Is their profit margin expanding or contracting? These are the kinds of questions an investor would ask. For example, if their revenue increased by say 10%, that is a good sign indicating market acceptance or successful sales strategies. If their profit margin decreased, it might mean they are facing higher costs for raw materials or production, which could impact their ability to pass those costs on to customers. We would also want to check their balance sheet, which shows their assets, liabilities, and equity. This gives a picture of the company's financial health at a specific point in time. High levels of debt, for example, could be a risk if the company isn't generating enough cash to service that debt. The report is signed off by Timothy J. Jordan, who holds a very important role as Vice President, General Counsel, Secretary, and Chief Compliance Officer. This is standard procedure ensuring the report has been officially authorized. Now let's zoom out a bit. Minerals Technologies Inc. operates in the mineral and mineral-based product sector. This industry can be cyclical, influenced by global economic conditions, construction demand, and industrial production. Companies in this space often deal with commodity prices and the need for continuous innovation to stay competitive. Their performance is therefore tied to broader economic trends as well as their specific strategies within their niche markets. For example, if there is a boom in construction worldwide, it typically benefits companies that supply materials like those Minerals Technologies Inc. might produce. In our particular filing from October 2025, we're essentially getting a status update on how MTX navigated the third quarter of that year. Did they exceed expectations or fall short? Were there any unusual events specifically mentioned that impacted their financials, like a major new contract, a plant closure, or a significant acquisition? Often press releases will highlight positive achievements or explain away any less favorable results. The real power of these filings, especially the attached press releases, is that they provide the raw data behind the headlines. While a company might present a rosy picture, we can look at the underlying numbers to form our own informed opinion. For example, if they trumpet revenue growth but we see that their expenses have grown even faster, then their profit might actually be shrinking. This discrepancy between outward communication and internal financial reality is what we look for at Corporate Decoder. The goal is to translate these complex financial statements into clear, understandable insights about the company's true health and trajectory. So looking at this report from October 2025, what can we infer? Minerals Technologies Inc. is keeping the market informed about its financial journey. They are dutifully filing their Form 8K, which in this instance points us to a press release detailing their third quarter financial performance. This release is where the investors' real attention should be. We would be scrutinizing their revenues, costs, and profits to understand their operational effectiveness. The market context, the industry they operate in, and their execution of business strategies all play a role in shaping these quarterly results. It is by examining these figures critically that we can truly decode the corporate story. Now, looking at these results more broadly, Minerals Technologies Inc. appears to be navigating the current economic landscape. While we don't have the specific numbers from the press release here in front of us, the act of filing this report signifies a commitment to transparency. We would be looking for signs of strong operational execution, maybe increased efficiency in their production processes or successful market penetration with new product. Conversely, we'd be mindful of potential risks like increasing raw material costs or a slowdown in key customer industries. We know that MTX trades on the NYSE and its stock price will react to these financial reports, so investors are always keen to see if the company is meeting or beating its financial targets. A consistent track record of good performance usually translates into a stable or appreciating stock value, so the story here is about Minerals Technologies Inc., reporting its financial health for the third quarter of 2025. It is a crucial checkpoint to gauge their progress and assess their future prospects based on the data they've chosen to share. We've covered the main points for this filing. Alright, that is our breakdown of Minerals Technologies Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.